Two boys are given a task to go on a journey without any form of financial aid for their mobility, right? And the cost of not getting to the destination is their lives. Let's call these boys Fred and Mike. Upon hearing this, Fred broke down in tears, knowing fully well that his days are numbered. But Mike, on the other hand, began to walk and walk and walk. He said to himself, I would rather die walking than to die not taking any action at all. Luckily for Mike, right, he was able to find somebody who was able to give him a lift, right, halfway of his destination, and he continued the rest by foot. Fred was still there, knowing fully well that there was no way he could actually get to his destination by walking, but he took no step at all. One of the major reasons why we procrastinate is because we think of the gravity of what we are to do, and our brain just shuts down on that task. Our emotions also negate it. Everything is just coming together in harmony to tell you, no way, I am not doing this. This task is a no-go area. And sometimes we forget that we control our emotions and not our emotions controlling us. Today, I'm going to be showing us 3 major ways by which we can avoid procrastination. Because the reason why we procrastinate, like I just said, is majorly because our brain sees the task as one major task, and boom, it gives us that negative emotion that no way, we are not doing this. Let's do it some other time. When that other time comes, let's do it some other time. And let's do it some other time. And before you know it, hours become days, days become months, or days become weeks, weeks become months, months become years, and you still do nothing. Have you ever met people who made up their mind to do something? Let's say to learn how to play the keyboard, right? And they said, I'm going to learn how to play the keyboard next week. And before you know it, next week becomes upper week, and upper week becomes next month, and next month becomes next year. And a year goes by and they still don't know how to play the keyboard. Why? Because whenever the time comes when they made up their mind to go to learn, right, something would always come. Another bigger excuse would always come for them not to do that, right? And it's just our brain pushing us and making it feel like this one is a lesser duty, focus on this one. This one is more easier. Because the truth is that our brain would always try to protect us from something it perceives to be heavy, much, a big deal, right? It tries to keep us safe, in quotes, right? And thereby we begin to procrastinate. You're supposed to take certain course, but you know that, okay, you have to sit down for hours learning and learning. Your brain will be like, no way we are doing that. Let's rather watch TikTok videos, let's rather go and enjoy ourselves, right? Because your brain would always want to push you to the safe space, forgetting that you cannot necessarily get the easy life by easy process. The process is usually hard, and you have to go through that hard process to get the easy result. It's just the truth, and it's the way of life, right? So 3 ways by which you can actually avoid procrastination. Trust me, this works like magic. Yes, it works for me, and it is going to work for you. And number 1 is this: make the major tasks the first tasks you do for that day. Make those heavy tasks one of the first tasks you do that day. So start with the major tasks, start with the big tasks, right? Don't try to push it that, let me quickly do all these ones and later I'll come back to this one. The truth is that the chances of you coming back to it is slim, right? Start with the major tasks. Start with those heavy tasks that you want to run away from. Start with them. At least in the morning when you are just waking up, you are more energized, right? Before the day begins to go, and then you're more stressed out in the afternoon. Start with the major tasks in the morning. That's number 1. Number 2, implement the 5 seconds rule. Man, I learned this from Mel Robbins, and it is one thing that has really, really helped me. And what is it? Whenever I find myself in that phase where I want to procrastinate from doing something, what I do is that I just sit and count down 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. And then I begin to, and then I stand up to do what I know I need to do, right? It's one of those, the thing it does is that it helps your brain to be wired in the sense that it gives you a sense of urgency, right? It gives you a sense of urgency. So I count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I stand up and go and do what I need to do. It gives my brain that sense of urgency that something is about to happen. You need to get something done, right? It's a way of tricking the brain, right? It really, really helps a lot. And the third one is that you reflect on the post-action moment of that task. Reflect on the post-action moment of that task. Somebody wants to learn how to become a financial trader, and then you know that you're supposed to take a course of maybe a 16-hour course, a 16-hour trading course, right? And you're like, should I take it today? Should I take it tomorrow? Should I take it next week? You're finding yourself in that phase whereby you're trying to think of what you're going to become, or the things that are going to happen after you take that course, after you have learned that skill, right? Think of who you will be. Think of the results that will come out of it. Just visualize it. This is what would happen after I'm able to get this done. Man, I'm telling you, when I know that, when I visualize it and I see myself becoming a better trader, being able to analyze the financial market, once I'm done with this 16 hours course, I'll become much more better than who I was before, right? It gives your brain that sense of urgency that, man, we have a result to achieve, we have a goal to achieve, and that puts you on that, level to go and get something done. I hope with all this that you have learned, you will be able to go out there and stop procrastinating.